Unfortunate update here for Quinshon Judkins owners and just in general. According to this report here, Browns rookie running back Quinshon Judkins allegedly struck the woman in the mouth during an argument inside his Lamborghini SUV. Of course, as you know, Judkins was arrested on battery and domestic violence charges earlier this week and was held overnight on Saturday night into Sunday morning and awaited a judge on Sunday morning, which wasn't a good look to begin with. And we said here, covering this stuff for 23 plus years professionally, that your boy had a bad feeling this thing was going to go in a bad direction, not one of those directions of, oh, this was an overreaction by police, it was a he said, she said thing. And it's very important to acknowledge that this is alleged. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty, no doubt about it. But there are certain facts on the table here that we have to look at, and certain speculative pieces we got to look at. And then there's determinations we got to come to, because what we do here is predict what's going to happen on this channel, dissect what's happening and what could happen, and make educated guesses in terms of player playing time and fantasy football values. That's what we do. And while it's important to kind of make sure we do still reserve that right to people being innocent until proven guilty on the grand scale, there is a lot of predictiveness that needs to take place. So we have to make some assumptions. So buckle up. The Fantasy Football Show unfortunate Quinshon Judkins update begins now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So reportedly, according to several different outlets and news wires, and just the reports that people are passing around, Judkins, who was arrested on Saturday or this weekend and stayed the night in a jail Saturday late evening into Sunday morning, awaited a judge to see him. The report, this is coming from Tom Pelissero, so this is obviously all very well reported and documented already. Here is the arrest report for running back Quinshon Judkins, who has yet to sign his rookie deal, by the way. So the Browns have a little bit of latitude as to what direction they go in this situation, and they have the ability to just step aside. And so keep in mind that while everybody's saying that the legal process needs to play out, that's the way the NFL does it, that's the way the NFL does it. Smitty, I know more than anybody that does this professionally how this stuff can go. And when it's domestic violence and it's gambling, the league doesn't play around. And you can, for right or wrong, they just don't. Those are two laws of the NFL that they stick by. So while there is a chance, if the optics are not bad, and the optics appear to be getting worse, if the optics are not bad, they might take that approach. And the NFL already had a statement on this yesterday, and that statement was as follows. I believe this is the report here. No, that was the Schefter report. I think it might be right here. This report, the NFL is aware of the matter, but has declined further comment per a league official. So the NFL has already declined to comment at the moment. They're not taking a stance like we let these legal processes play out before we make a decision. They're already telling you no comment. We're not sure what we need to say here because we need more details and information. We need the dust to settle. And the dust is starting to settle. And unfortunately for Quinshon Judkins and prospective fantasy football owners of Judkins, this is going in the wrong direction. Doesn't mean that it can't be reeled back. Doesn't mean that new information coming out of the Judkins camp, like, hey, let us get our story out there. And then we start saying, okay, well, let's hear it. This is going in the wrong direction. And according to this report right here, Judkins, the accuser, told police that he struck her in with a closed fist to the chin and lip area, and there's bruising that coincides with that reportedly. and later struck her in the left arm and thigh while they were in a car leaving the airport on July 7th. Now, here's where people get a little bit upset, I guess, in the side of defending innocent till proven guilty, is that she waited a handful of days to report it. And I'm not saying in either direction that he should be considered guilty or he should be considered innocent. Make sure you understand what I'm saying. This is all alleged, and I'm trying to give two perspectives. And everybody's got an agenda. Okay? Everybody's got an agenda. The thing here is you can't just assume because someone waited a handful of days to report something that they're lying. You also can't assume that everybody accusing everybody of something makes the person that's being accused guilty. So there's two perspectives here. But just to put it to bed here for a second, you can't assume that just because someone waited that there wasn't an issue. They were traveling. Imagine if you were traveling with someone that you were trying to forgive that did something. You might hang around for a couple days. Then when you get back, you talk to people. They're like, you got to do something about this. And she did. That's one take and one angle and one predictive way that this thing went. Could something be completely fabricated as well? Sure. But right now, everything is unfortunately lining up against Quinshon Judkins in a way that, if you ask me, through my experience of doing this and covering stuff like this, it's headed in a direction that feels like there's a lot of legitimacy here. I don't know that for a fact. I do think things can turn like that, but this is not going in a good direction. So, yeah, anyway, can you read the injuries again? I just did, bro. He struck her in the chin and lip area, I just said. And then also in the thigh and in the arm. So, and there's reportedly bruising that corresponds with this. And again, waiting doesn't mean she's making it up. Her saying it doesn't mean it's true. There are two sides to this situation. No problem, Joe. So, if I had to guess from a football perspective, and look, we do this. This is what we do. You can call it callous to come out and start talking about some trajectory of a career, or when someone's been a victim of something, like, or when, let's say, in the case of Hamlin, and everybody's saying, oh, we shouldn't talk about football right now. We can chew gum and talk and walk and talk at the same time. Okay, this is what we do. And when people said this Hamlin situation went down, and people were like, fantasy's just a game. This is real life. This is real life too. I'm sorry. I'm just going to tell you how it is. This is real life too. We do what we do. Some people, try and make their full-time hustle the fantasy game. And I'm here to try and just dissect news and help people understand what's going on. Now, this is all for entertainment purposes, what we do. But at the same time, you know what we're talking about. This is all about news. It's all about NFL. We live it 365, 24/7. We live it. So, my guess is this. The NFL is going to wait a little bit. They want more information. My guess is the Browns are going to wait. My guess is that the commissioners maybe even told the Browns, you better wait to give them this extension, this contract offer. I don't know if Quinshon Judkins can race to the facsimile machine, sign it, and send it back. I don't know. We have no idea what the details are of his contract offer. But Quinshon Judkins is one of the few rookies that has yet to sign his rookie deal, which is a problem. If you're Judkins, it's a problem. Because now you have the Browns who, if I were the Browns, I'd rescind it and say the terms have changed. Not only have the terms changed, but I don't know if we would want to send you new terms until this thing shakes out. There is a world where this thing goes completely astray for Judkins and everybody that believes in Judkins. And there's a player that we love very much on this channel, and this is not about agendas. I'm very unbiased when it comes to this stuff. The only reason people say sometimes I'm not unbiased is when it doesn't fit their agenda. And just because something fits our agenda doesn't mean I'm biasly just walking in that direction. But this man, Dylan Samson, is going up in value.
Stock on the rise.
And Dylan Samson, we've talked about being the better player anyway. And people don't want to hear that from me because they've got an agenda, or they look at the draft capital and say the Browns drafted Judkins first. This is all true, but that doesn't make him a better player than Dylan Samson, a player I had ranked much higher than Judkins in January, February, March, April. Even after the NFL draft, I came out and said, look, the pathway is not going to be easy for Samson because he's drafted after Judkins, but drafted by the same team. But he's still the better running back. This is the better running back. This is a guy that the team has said several times, sky is the limit, quote unquote. The sky is the limit for his receiving abilities and ability to grab footballs and be this team's pass catching back immediately. And Jerome Ford report came out 2, 3, 4 days ago that said Jerome Ford's already sitting in pole position for the starting job. So Quinshon Judkins is not only not in line for first and second down work initially, that is Jerome Ford, who he could take the job from, but right now it's Jerome Ford's job to lose. Jerome Ford is the starter in Cleveland. Make no mistake about that. That is currently what's going on in Cleveland. But this guy is going to have a foot in the door because of his pass catching abilities, and to take over in Cleveland, his path is now looking like it might be clearer than Quinshon Judkins' path, who has yet to sign his rookie deal. So agendas aside, you can want Quinshon Judkins to be the guy all you want. You can say he's a great buy low all you want. No one's saying that that's inaccurate. There is some truth to that. If things play out good, Judkins could be a good buy low, but he could also be a waste of a pick. He could also be a player that completely unravels. And this guy right here, Dylan Samson, given his cost of entry, is right around rounds 14, 15, 16. It was once 17 and 18. Now he's climbing up ADP boards pretty heavily. I will say that there's still a lot of room for him to climb, and I don't necessarily think that it's all going to happen right away. There's still a lot of buying opportunity, especially if you are on Underdog. Promo code Smitty will be drafting tonight. You can get Samson still in rounds 14 and 15, and it's going to be a pretty solid situation for those that are willing to invest. That link has been dropped in the live chat. If you want to draft with us tonight, make sure you are signed up using code Smitty. Underdog will match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000. The link is in the description. The link's in the live chat, and code Smitty gets it done as well. We'll be drafting, and his ADP climbed immediately from round 17, 18 to round 15, 16. Could he climb to 13, 12? Sure. Do I think he climbs to an unreasonable place where we're then out? No. The reason I say that is because there's so many Judkins believers out there, vested interest, by the way. And there's so many people that say, I don't want to touch the Browns running backs, period. So there's still 3 different groups of people shoving ADP around. And because there's not 3 groups of people coming together and drafting Dylan Samson, we will have his ADP held at bay or in check at least enough. So I think 12, 11 is possible, and he's worth every bit of double-digit round drafting. If you draft him at 11, 12, 13, I think you're getting a damn fine player. We've been scooping him up left and right. He's one of the better, more underrated late double-digit round running backs in fantasy because he's already been in line before this news, before Quinshon Judkins' situation unraveled. He was already in line to be the PPR star of this offense. Now, Ford is going to initially start the year, it sounds like, and I don't think that's changing now. I really don't think that there's a chance that that changes now. I'm going to go with this caller first because we are kind of heading toward the direction of opening the phone lines anyway. 828 caller, you're live. What can I do for you? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I appreciate you, Smitty. It's Angry Bruce from North Carolina.
What's up,
I got a question. I took Quinshon Johnson in probably like 65% of my underdog draft.
Yep.
Thank God I cuffed him with Samson. My question is this, like, can you act like if he's convicted or whatever, can you act like he's just hurt for 6 games and the cuff's going to be okay? Or
No,
I mean,
because but listen to this, bro. I mean, first of all, he's not even signed to his rookie deal.
yeah.
So we don't even know where this is going to head. This could head in a really weird direction. I'm not saying it will, but it certainly could. So we don't even know what's in store for him. Number two, you don't just get set aside and then come right back in when you're in this situation where now the team might say, stay away for a little while. We don't know what they're going to tell him. We don't know what Roger Goodell might do behind closed doors. People say the legal process has to play out. That's not always the case with domestic violence and for gambling. So people need to understand the NFL has a whole lot of different ways that they tackle these things. And Roger Goodell might strong arm the team. This is just my guess. I don't know anything on this, but he might say, look, you're going to keep him away from the facility while we await and make a later decision. We have no idea how this is going to go, but this is not a player that's earned anything yet, bro. So if he steps away, let's say he gets suspended, and I don't even know that could get ironed out in enough time, bro. It might be able to, it might not. The league and the team might just say, look, for right now, until it does get ironed out, this is what it is. We have no idea how it's going to go. It could go 100 different directions. We could still have positive Judkins news come out on this front, like defending himself and two sides to every story, and they get out in front of it, or maybe they get out in front of it even though they don't really have a leg to stand on, but it still confuses matters enough to this thing just kind of goes away for a little bit. It's hard to know. He could definitely play week 1. He could definitely be suspended and miss, half of the season, or 6 games is probably the likely outcome, but he could absolutely face something like that. Or he could face a suspension later and still not play week 1, 2, 3, 4 because the team or Goodell decides to make some decision. Roger Goodell could commission or exempt list anybody paid if he wanted to. So
I guess perception's everything. I mean, like you're saying, every situation is different. I mean, what about the Worthy case? Like, how did he get out of it? Didn't he get charged for assault too? Or am I mistaken? Or was that Rice?
Are you? Yeah. First of all, Rice was in a vehicle, so you got it all twisted up. Rice was in a vehicle. He got in a big collision, crashed the car, put people in the hospital, but it was reportedly, not threatening injuries of any kind. It's a completely different scenario. Even Alvin Kamara, who got in a fist fight with somebody in an elevator at a hotel, is completely different than domestic violence.
Right, because it's not a woman. I mean, that's a big deal. And like I said, it's just a shame that you could get Quinshon Johnson and kind of later on.
Quinshon Judkins.
Judkins. I'm sorry. Quinshon Judkins.
You get me to say it wrong. Quinshon Judkins, yes.
Yeah.
All right, last thing, and then I got to go real quick, bro.
All right, last thing. But like I said, if I cuffed him with Samson, which I did, the whole way through, I mean,
yeah.
Is it a total wash or?
No, bro, we have no idea. As I just mapped, when you called, I mapped out everything. So go back and rewatch that. We have no idea.
I will.
No idea. But Samson is a guy that has a lot of wide receiver upside, PPR upside. Probably had a good, kung fu grip on that anyway. So and
I like Samson out of Tennessee. He set records over there. He's a dark horse.
He's better than Judkins. He just is. I've said that all offseason. All right, got to go, bro. Appreciate you. Red with the super chat says just offered Ford and Javonte to the Judkins Samson owner for Walker Sharps. Offered Ford and Javonte to the Judkins owner for Walker Sharps. Ford and Javonte. I mean, good luck getting Walker and Sharps for that. I'll be interested if you pull that off, but that would be a lambasting of a lifetime. Thank you for that super chat, by the way. So anyway, Quinshon Judkins is we don't know what's going to happen. Everybody needs to just kind of understand that there's a lot of ambiguity here and some unknowns. But the bottom line is, if I had to make predictions, this is heading in a worse direction than it is heading in a direction of this will be a nothing burger. Not saying that is a nothing burger on any level, but meaning the commissioner or the league or a week 1, situation where Judkins is not on the field. I'm not saying that can't happen, that he can't hit the field in week 1 and that this thing get, resolved and then a suspension come later. but he hasn't signed his rookie deal. Like, there's so many complexities to this thing. And for anybody that thinks that a career can't completely unravel before it starts, this has happened many times. Phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
You could always tell when people have an agenda. It's wild to me. No one knows. No one knows what's going to happen here. So dial in if you have a question. All I can tell you is this isn't looking good. It's heading in a bad direction for Quinshon Judkins and people that believe in him. We talked about Ayuk and the Niners earlier. Or Ayuk too, but Juwan Jennings is demanding a trade or a new contract within 1 week, or he wants to be traded. We just did a video on that. Now we're back talking Judkins because we've got new news on that. So dial in if you want to have a discussion about that. Let me go over to Scuba Steve. Scuba Steve, we haven't heard from you in a while. So glad to hear your voice, young man. What can I do for you? You're live.
Smitty, what's going on, my man?
What's up, Scuba?
Hey, what's up, man? Oh, I was just gonna say, man, this like whole situation is crazy, man. I mean, this guy hasn't even started yet, and he's already getting into trouble.
I know, and his deal hasn't been signed yet, so it's not like, we don't even have normal clarity or normal expectations of this situation because Quinshon Judkins has not yet signed his rookie deal. Like, this complicates things massively. And like I said, I don't know if Judkins, has that offer still sitting there, and if the Browns are so wild and they handle things so badly, it wouldn't shock me if they just still had that contract out there and he could sign it. Like, I don't know what the Browns are expecting to do. But if it were me, I would rescind everything. I would not allow this man to sign a contract. Number one, the terms have changed. Number two, this gives you a way out if things go sideways. And I think that because they got Dylan Samson, there's a reason they drafted Dylan Samson. There's a reason NASA creates 2 different shuttles for one mission in case one goes down. They've got a backup plan. Like, Dylan Samson was drafted for a reason. And they doubled up. And if anybody thinks that they're not going to go toward that direction now, this is exactly when you would. So we've seen other careers crumble quicker than this one. This is not a lock that he's playing in the NFL, and it's not a lock that anything's impacted at all. This could go either directions. I'm just telling everybody today, based on the update today, that the odds are it's going in the bad direction, not in the direction where everything's going to be okay for fantasy owners. That's all I'm saying. I don't know how much. If I had to put a number on it, I'd say 60% bad, 40% this thing could still go into a nothing burger reaction-wise by the NFL, and the Browns leave his contract out there to be signed. He signs it real quickly, and he gets reports and tries to say, I'm going to keep my head on straight and let my legal team handle this. And everybody just going like, okay, is anything going to happen? The league sits back, everybody sits back, and then he just plays. But you got to understand that the teams also, they drafted Dylan Samson for a reason. And they've already said he's the best pass catcher of the two. The sky's the limit for Dylan Samson. So Judkins isn't a lock by any means to be the starter of this team eventually. There's nothing that anybody should be, expecting here. Go ahead, Scuba. What else you got?
Oh, Smitty, I was just going to say, you're talking about guys that had like a short shelf life. Look at Darius Geis from Washington drafting him. Everybody was so happy that guy was in the NFL. I think he had like a cup of coffee and he started out pretty good. And then all the legal stuff happened with him, and now he's gone. He's not even in the NFL.
Yeah. Hey,
and that could be the same thing that happens to him.
Hey, Matt. Again, I said this yesterday. Matt, you're my boy. I appreciate you. Okay, I appreciate you, but you keep posting this. Like, stop posting this. Stop. Number one, you're in a way, Matt. Think of it this way. In a way, you're kind of making light or making almost a joke out of the accusations that could or may not be true, but you continue to say Judkins is innocent over and over and over and over and over, and you literally just litter the chat with it the last 2 days. I love you, pal. I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying relax on this, because number one, you're looking super biased, bro. I told you yesterday, you gotta be more open-minded to certain takes. You can't just hammer down on something because you own a player, bro. You can't do that. And stop saying this over and over and over. You don't know. You don't have this information. Just stop, Matt. Okay. Go ahead, Scuba. One more thing.
Yeah. So I don't know too much about Samson, Smitty. So I know they want to use him for like the passing. Would he still be like getting like the red zone too, or is that something that's gonna like they're gonna split that? But
look, Ford
we'll just get all the.
We don't know. We have no idea. Ford is the starter. Ford is the starter. That is almost a certainty right now. This was a report that already came out, one that I acknowledged to be very likely to be true. You know, sometimes the beat reporters will say something that I don't necessarily agree with, and I'll shoot it down. And that's my objective take. And the reports that came out that said Ford's the starter right now, should be the starter, will probably continue to be the starter, will probably enter week 1 as the starter. That should be confirmed in everyone's mind right now. Ford is the starter. Now, whether he relinquishes all the passing work or half of it to Dylan Samson, it will be dependent on Dylan Samson's response and productivity. So there is no answer here. Right now, if you want the starter week 1, I'm going to tell you to get Ford. If you want the high upside player that has the ability to win a league, I think Dylan Samson's that guy. And the cost of entry is still probably around 14, 13, 15. If it climbs a lot higher than that, we'll have to reassess the cost of entry and if it's good enough or too high or too costly. But right now, it comes down to Ford's ADP climbs, Judkins, his ADP tanks, and Dylan Samson's going to climb pretty steadily. And where they end up climbing will determine whether we're interested in drafting them. But right now, Ford is the starter. Ford is going to be the week 1. I like Samson.
Yep. No. I just was trying to ask because I didn't know much about Samson. If you see him as he has the skill set to be like a 3-down back, or is he like more of like a PPR, like just like a pass catching guy and doesn't have like a skill set?
No, he was in my top 3 or 4 running backs, rookie running backs, bro. I know you haven't been here this offseason, but he's a midseason monster. He's a guy we talked about, Dylan Samson, all offseason as being the guy, the quietly better player that people just. It sucks that he got drafted after Quinshon Judkins and had a kind of a tough climb and uphill battle to get the starting job. But he's been a midseason monster for a reason. This channel hasn't wavered on Samson ever. And so we're doing it live here on the channel, doing it live like we do.
Let him cook.
All right, Scuba, mute yourself real quickly. I'll come back to you if you got another question. Hang tight real quickly. Let me circle around the phone line. We've got Michael from San Diego, then the Bruce, then back to Scuba. Go ahead, Michael.
Hey, what's going on, Smitty?
What's up?
Question for you, and getting back to that contract situation you were talking about with Judkins. How do you think this is going to affect the rest of the second rounders in terms of long term? Because I know you know about that kind of holdout war that's going on between them and the teams because they want guaranteed contracts. How do you think that plays out?
Trickle down effect, bro. It definitely affects all the players below. If Judkins now signs like a lower deal because the terms have changed, then all of a sudden, you know, Judkins is going to cause the players below him to get lower than what he got. Scott, don't embarrass yourself, Scott. Come on. What's with some people? Judkins to the moon. Bro, the guy's being accused of something pretty bad, and you're out here promoting him as if he's your best buddy. I mean, I'm not saying he's innocent until proven guilty, but it's kind of a wild look there, Scott. Yeah, who knows, bro? We have no idea how the contracts are going to play out. We have no idea if Judkins will even be signed. That's what we need to talk about, you know, and expect. this situation is going to be wildly different than people think, maybe on all levels, because of that mere fact that he hasn't signed yet. It's not like the team committed to him and they're like, oh, we're going to stand by our guy. They drafted Dylan Samson as well for a reason, and that reason might come to light quicker than they thought.
You don't think there's any intent just because they spent a second round?
Yeah,
on him?
Yeah, they don't want to waste that draft capital, but they also spent 2 draft selections on quarterbacks, bro. They drafted Gabriel before they drafted their starter. Like, this is a team an organization that doesn't know what they're doing. This is probably one of the worst organizations in the league, and their fan base is amazing. I love the Browns fans. It's not their fault, but this is one of the dumbest organizations in the league. They drafted Gabriel before they drafted Shedeur, and this is just wild. This is wild.
Yeah, no, it is.
Hold on one second. What were you saying? What were you saying, bro? Oh, Michael hung up. Okay, let me go back over to Bruce. Bruce, you're live.
Hey, Smitty.
Yeah,
what's up? Well, the Browns are they were stupid during the draft, and now they kind of look smart that they drafted 2 running backs. And
yeah.
Actually, they look...
I mean, you could say that, but you could also say this is just an organization that doubled up on quarterback when they shouldn't have. Drafting both running backs is, you could say, smart, but you could also say that it took them 2 picks to try and get it right, and their second choice will be better than their first, and now they've wasted their first. I mean, you could look at it 100 different ways, but this organization is one of the dumbest out there. And they, trading for Deshaun Watson and signing him to the worst contract in the history of the NFL, making the worst trade and the worst contract in one, has already put this team in the worst light possible. And now they've got this situation. They just, and then drafting Gabriel before they draft Shedeur, putting pressure on them to consider Gabriel and not Shedeur. Like, the fact that it's even being floated that they're considering cutting one of them walking out of camp, like, that's just such a dumb position to put yourself in. Use the draft capital that you used on Gabriel to get another player. It's just stupid. The Browns don't know what they're doing. So that's the other factor, though, is the Browns may not make the right decisions here. They might not try and do what's right or do what's wrong, or they might offer him the same rookie contract they were offering him, and everyone's gonna be like, bro, you had all the leverage in the world and you signed him to the same deal. Like, the Browns are doing Browns things.
Yeah. Now, where would you put his situation to Isaiah Bond's situation?
Well, I think Bond didn't get drafted because of his situation, and his is allegedly, out there as well. And I'm not saying Judkins doesn't deserve the innocent until proven guilty for his freedoms and things, but when you start talking about the league perception and teams, if they're going to not sign Isaiah Bond, none of them, what makes anybody think that the Browns are for sure going to sign Judkins to his rookie deal? They might, but if he gets his rookie deal, shouldn't Bond be picked up by a team? I mean, Bond should be signed. If Judkins is going to sign his rookie deal, Bond should be able to find a home too. But no team's going near that. The only difference is the Browns already used the draft capital. So, as mentioned, it's the vested interest. Like the other caller said, it's like they already kind of have an interest in getting this done. But the terms have changed, man. And who knows if Goodell stepped in and said, hey, because Goodell's like that, bro. He's like that. He could say, look, private phone call. Hey, Browns, it's Goodell. Don't record this. You are not signing Judkins to a deal that solves all of our problems. Then we can wait on this thing. Yeah, make it happen. We don't know. That would be the smart move in corrupt fashion by the commissioner, because then he wouldn't have to do a single thing. Who knows how it's going to go? But who doesn't believe that Goodell's not going, hey, don't sign him?
I have a feeling that's what happened to Bond. Goodell was told all 32 people, don't draft this kid.
I think the commissioner had some sort of hand in Bond not being drafted. Yep. All right, hang tight. Scott, you're live. Scott, stop running your mouth about Judkins to the moon when this thing's pending.
I don't get it. How can they possibly give him a contract? They just don't. One thing.
What side do you want? What side do you want? What side do you want, Scott?
All last year.
What side are you on?
Last year did the same exact thing.
What side are you on, Scared Scott? You're on the side of what? Because you just said Judkins to the moon, or are you just constantly trolling?
Well, obviously, I was kidding.
Okay, well, not obviously, actually.
But I don't see how they can. They've got Watson on the frickin' team, who's whatever it is that he does. And then you have your second rounder last year does the same thing, gets a 5-game suspension. Are you going to go right back into that well a third time?
I mean, the Browns, man. The Browns. The Browns might easily, that might be the only thing they know how to do. But, so to answer your question, logic would tell me, how do you sign this man to a rookie deal off of everything you just said? But how do the Browns not make this mistake? I think it's the Browns, bro.
I mean, what if they decide to cut their third rounder and then they just throw away their second and their third round from this year?
I don't know. Maybe they keep Gabriel now. I mean, you could justify saying, hey, we'll let Judkins go. No team's going to sign him right now. You know, it's tough to say how this is going to play out, but you could then keep Gabriel maybe. I don't know. Because they're reportedly going to cut one of Shedeur or Gabriel, which they're not cutting Shedeur. Then again, it's the Browns. So you never really know. But, I mean, I don't know. I just think that this is one of those situations where everybody's going to have an opinion. Shedeur's doing great.
I see different reports. Sometimes they say he sucks. Sometimes
he doesn't suck. He's looked phenomenal, and he's taken everything in stride. And I hope they cut him. They won't, I don't think, but I hope they do. I hope they cut him and he gets to go. Because guess what? He's proven enough that another team's going to say we made a mistake by not drafting him, and they'll bring him in. But I do also like him being in Cleveland because the pathway to the lineup is pretty easy. It's a pathway to the Browns starting lineup. And I think he could turn the franchise around a little bit, but it's also not a lock. So, all right. Anything else, Scared Scott?
Yeah. No. Later, man.
All right. Bruce, final thoughts.
My final thoughts is as a prick I am, Judkins is a little sissy hitting women. That's my final thoughts.
We don't fully know if it's true, but it does sound like it's heading in a direction where it's going to be pretty hard to imagine this thing not having legs to it, So, yeah, if he did, in fact, do it, it's, obviously inexcusable. And I think that as of this moment, I would lean toward, this is just my guesstimation, educated guess, 60% likely that things are lining up and the story's making sense.
Well, the worst part is, or the thing is, if he gets a video like Ray Rice did, I don't even think he'll ever play.
Yeah, unless there's a traffic cam catching it. This reportedly happened in the Lamborghini. I don't think he was live streaming at the time, and I don't think, unless she recorded something, maybe he was being wild and she hit record on something, but there's no signs of that. This was she reported it, several days later, probably got advice from somebody, and just because she reported something late while they were traveling, maybe she wanted to get, and I'm just making a guess here, maybe she wanted to get somewhere safe. And maybe it's all made up. Maybe she needed to get somewhere safe. There's two sides, but maybe she needed to get somewhere safe. And somebody said, "Hey, you can't let this go." And then she was, kind of pressured, maybe in good fashion, maybe in bad fashion. We don't know, to go to the authorities after the fact. But it does sound like, and there have been mixed reports about him in college, being kind of a good citizen in a locker room concern. There's been a lot of people that have been throwing a lot of weird stuff out there, so it's hard to know what's even true.
Like I said, even you were saying, sometimes she had to get away from him, so she didn't feel like she was in fear of her life.
Well, yeah, and I'm not saying that has been confirmed or true. I'm just saying that when people come in and say, oh, likely story that she came 4 days later, you don't know the story. And just like I don't know how it went, it could be fabricated, it might not be. But for people to act like that is a determination whether she's telling the truth or not is a stupid take. It's lazy.
Yep.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
All right. Yep. See you.
All right. Scuba Steve, final thoughts.
Hey, Smitty, I have a question. How do you feel about Tajay Spears?
I like him.
Last year, you think that you think that whatchamacallit's gonna lose the job and he's gonna give that up, or
I don't think
he's still gonna hold on to it?
I don't think Pollard loses anything more than they've already said, the coaching staff has already said we need to do a better job of balancing the workload between Spears and Pollard instead of giving it all to Pollard. So Pollard's stock has gone down.
Stock on decline.
Mere comment, and Spears'
on the
stock
rise.
has gone up. And Spears is a very crafty running back, 4 or 5 this year in fantasy for sure. I like him a lot.
I know. I like him too. I just wonder if Pollard is just gonna end up losing that job to Spears, and Spears just ends up looking like that much better, and Pollard doesn't really look all that great. That they just give all the work, like something happens and maybe Spears gets all that work.
We'll see, bro. I like him a lot. He's definitely a potential mid-season monster.
Where is he being ranked right now, and where can you get him right now in draft?
Tajay is going around. If I pull up the Underdog ADP again, Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. If you guys want to draft tonight, hit that link. It's pinned in the live chat. We're going to be drafting tonight on Underdog, so make sure you get on over to that link and use code Smitty, or the link inserts code Smitty for you. You'll need to be ready to go in order to draft. To smash the link and prepare now. Don't be scrambling later if you want to get in a draft. So 2025 season ADP for Tajay Spears is looking like it's deep, bro. It's 125 overall. That is running back 40. That is above Ray Davis, though. That is above Trey Benson. It's above Isaac Grendo. It's above Jordan Blue. All players I love. So it's below Charbonnet. It's below Ramondre. It's one spot below Ramondre. It's below Charbs, though. I think it's spotted pretty good. I don't think he's the steal of the draft ADP-wise, but I think he's worth it. I think you should be grabbing shares of him. But certainly a player that I think you could argue Ray Davis is better, in my opinion, but very close. Could go either way. Garendo, if he gets in, there's a home run hitter, but he's got less now value. Blue is also a home run hitter if he gets in there. So all very good prospects. I think Scuba dipped out. All right. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate Scuba. And Travis, I don't know if you're calling in or not. If anybody else wants to call in real quickly, we've got, I'll take a few more calls and then we're out of here. Appreciate everybody. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. How many people we got in the building? We got 325 from X. We got 200 from YouTube. We'll stay a little longer. Let's take like 5 or 6 phone calls. Anybody have rapid fire? Dial into the show, and let's keep this show going for a little bit longer. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in. Your boy's here to answer your questions. Would it be funny if the Browns drafted? Would have been funny if the Browns drafted Judkins and Henderson. Why would that have been funny, bro? Why would we want Henderson anywhere near that situation? Maybe funny for you because you have no Henderson shares. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know why that would be funny to you, unless you didn't have any Henderson shares and you're trying to make light of Henderson's situation. Pollard's been really solid. Spears would have to show health and be more explosive, which is possible, says Travis. I agree with Travis that, Pollard's not going away. That's why I told Scuba he's not losing the job. It's just going to be a rebalancing of the workload. So I agree with that, what Travis is saying. I could see the Chiefs taking Judkins if the Browns let him walk. I mean, they're definitely the team that would look into it, but I think no team would touch it. And, under Goodell's orders, potentially under Goodell's quiet hand, where he says, no, we're not allowing this to happen. Look, Isaiah Bond was probably in a situation where Goodell had some control over Isaiah Bond getting drafted. Let me go over to the 941 caller. You're live, 941. What can I do for you? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name is Zach. I'm calling from Michigan. How you doing?
What's up, Zach? I'm good.
So the question I asked you a few weeks ago, you got back to me on a comment about that fantasy football $100 little piece that I was going to give you. You know what I'm saying? You said that you don't have time for all that. And I understand that. I appreciate you even doing this. You know what I'm saying? Getting on air and taking people's questions and stuff like that. So I guess my little piece of help that I would ask from you would be I have 3 keepers I could take in my league, right? And I am looking to keep Bucky. I got Bucky in the 13th round. I've got Bo Nix in the 13th as well. So one's got to get kept in the 12th. One's got to get kept in the 11th. And then I got another one that I can keep, but I don't really know what to do here.
All right. Well, hit me with it.
So I've got Juan Jennings, who you just spoke on. Okay. He would be free. He'd be at the very end of the draft. Okay. I've got Spears, which he'd be late. I think he'd be the 11th pick. Well, I got to figure that out because of Bo and Bucky, but he was in the 12th. And then I got Addison, which you spoke on Addison, but he's in a little bit of trouble. So I don't know what to do there either. He would be the 7th round.
Okay, so Addison 7. No, thank you. Spears in 11 to 12-ish, you were saying. And then Jennings would be, what, 18?
Yep, Jennings would be free at the end.
I mean, I would probably lean toward just having a free... Well, Spears ain't bad at 11 to 12, though.
Oh, yeah, but Bucky... So Bucky and Bo were both in... let me go check that real quick, actually. That'd be my question. So Bo was 13th, okay, the 13th pick, so I get to keep Bo in the 12th. And then Bucky was the 13th as well. So 13, and then you've got Tajee Spears in the 12th, so he'd be the 11th. So they'd all have to stagger each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind keeping Jennings or Spears in this situation. I mean, if Jennings is free, who cares? And I do think it probably ends up getting worked out more than it doesn't. It's just how much does it set him back? I don't know. I'd probably say give me the RB. This is good enough value. Spears is going around 100 anyway. So when you think about that ADP, 100 overall is what? That's about the 9th round. So if you're keeping him, let's say you think 12 or it's going to be 11, you're going to be forced to keep him in 11.
Yeah. 11. Well, that's the thing. I have to keep him. Well, they start at 13, so 12, 11, and then 10. I would have to stack them in that, or not in that order, but whatever order that I decide to keep that person.
Yeah, I mean, 10 is a little high, but you could justify Bo Nix and all those guys there. Chat, what do you think? We go Spears, right? I mean, he's a good RB. He's going to earn that value. I just, Jennings you can draft back. Jennings will be available to draft back. I'm not saying Spears won't be. They both will be. Neither of these are league winning at this value anyway. But
I got someone trying to give me Sutton for around 10 pick as well. So, I mean, I could stack Bo and Sutton.
I don't mind that. I think that could probably be a better keeper.
The problem with that is he was picked in the where are we looking at?
I don't know. Hey, yeah. All right, hey, you gotta go because we're talking. We're talking we're talking Judkins here. But, call in tonight.
Man. All right, I appreciate your time. Yeah, I'll call in. All right, man. I'll hit you. See you.
All right, 919 caller, you're live.
Yo, what's up? This is Jake.
What's up, Jake from State Farm?
What's up? Well, Mike, I'm not specifically talking about Judkins, but I've noticed that you have a little bit of a CMC disrespect lately with all the Garendo talk and whatnot. Is that strictly coming just from the dual tendonitis in the Achilles? You're just worried about that?
Well, but here's the thing is when it doesn't match someone's agenda, it's disrespectful. When it's me trying to be a truth teller or be on the right side of history and predicting something, then it's me predicting something. So clearly you're a Niner fan, or you've got real heavy invested.
I'm just a CMC fan.
Okay, yeah. Well, CMC, I came out last year, and let me merge this call real quickly. Caller, hold on. I'll put yourself on mute. I'll be right with you. Look, I was a CMC, don't draft CMC promoter last year. Stay away, avoid, he'll lose you a league. What happened? I was correct. Was I a hater? Was I throwing disrespect on CMC, or was I a truth teller? Did I help save people's
Well, at that point, though.
At what point?
At that point, though, there was already talkings about him having issues with his health. But right now, everything's all steam ahead, and it seems like he's got everything all worked out. It just seems like...
Says who? Says his teammates?
Says all the reports that have come out.
Says his teammates. Reports off of his teammates. He's running in shorts, bro. You got to understand.
Why would they put all that tension on them and basically set themselves up to fail if they didn't have confidence in it?
Because he's at the best he can be, but they don't know. This is an experiment. Putting him out there is going to be an experiment, my guy. They have no clue.
He never had any Achilles problems before that.
Bro, your Achilles isn't like something that you can heal, like you didn't have hamstring injury before. Your Achilles is wearing down like brake pads on a vehicle. This is going to be something that has a tendency to wear and tear and snap by a later stage in your career. The wear and tear of an Achilles tendon is like thousands of ropes that are woven like an army rope, and they start snapping one by one, and the Achilles tendon gets very, very, very dangerously susceptible to injury. And so you got both of them wearing at the same rate. Both of them have worn at the same rate. Both of them are in trouble. And he
hear that.
He went and got. You want me to explain it to you or not? Because you keep interrupting me. If he goes overseas and has experimental surgery that might keep the situation at bay or help calm things down, great. He can go out there and jog. He can go out there and run. He can go out there and look good, and his teammates can say he looks fantastic and explosive, but he's not playing football. He doesn't have 300-pound linemen jumping on his back and letting his Achilles tendons flex and twist and turn. There's a reason why his calf injury was occurring. It's a screaming sign of an Achilles problem. He's got chronic. Chronic means it's not going away. He has been diagnosed with chronic bilateral Achilles tendonitis. Both of them at the same time means that the wear and tear has been equal.
That's still arbitrary at that.
What's arbitrary? What's arbitrary?
Them saying that it's chronic. He's this freak of nature athlete. This is all Mayo Clinic jargon about.
Okay, well, you have an agenda. You have an agenda, and it's clear. But my agenda is
not true.
Yeah, it is. You're sitting here saying that
your agenda is clear Garendo, though. I can say that. I'm not trying to argue with you.
What was my agenda to be on the right side of everything, or is my agenda because it doesn't jive with you now bias? When I was correct last year and you were wrong, I was correct.
No, I hear that, but
you were wrong.
Years before that.
So who cares? So what? I'm not accurate. So now I'm not accurate on it because you don't like it this year. So when I say Caleb Williams is going to bust, hold on. When I say Caleb Williams is going to be trash, and he is trash, now I'm right. I got Caleb Williams called to a T. I called the entire Bears situation to a T. Waldron, the entire staff, everything to a T. Me laughing at the fact that people said is the best situation any rookie QB's ever been set up with. We got it all right, but now people still come to me and say, you're going to be wrong on Caleb. You've got it out against Caleb. Do I, or am I just correct? Like Christian McCaffrey, bro, has not tested his bilateral chronic Achilles tendonitis. You can't heal the Achilles tendon that has been through the trauma of this man. This man has been the highest percentage
This
of
is
his
the
offense.
1% of athletes in the
Bro,
world.
stop.
This is not some
Stop.
Joe on the couch.
Stop.
Dude,
Stop, bro. No, you're laughing because you don't understand the situation. You want to, but you don't. You're not letting logic set in. You're trying to say because he's McCaffrey, he'll be okay. Your stance is this: because he's McCaffrey, he'll be okay. He'll be okay. Like, you got a blindfold
but your
on, bro.
stance is because he was hurt
on.
last season, and he'll be hurt this season.
No, you got a blindfold
He was
on.
hurt last season. He'll be hurt this season.
Bro, he has bilateral chronic Achilles tendonitis.
Okay, is that what Mayo Clinic says?
Okay, so you're the science is wrong. You're right. How do you know? Have you been doing this for 23 years? Because I've been doing it for 23 plus years. You haven't. So yeah, I do know. I do know.
You don't know.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Do you have an Amazon model of a foot and Achilles tendon in your office?
Dude, all I'm saying is you just seem to put a little too much stock in the Garendo.
No, I don't have to do. I can do whatever I want.
Well, I can do whatever I want too. I'm just trying to
go draft McCaffrey.
It just seems like you're too biased with Garendo
because it doesn't fit your narrative. Because it doesn't.
And
fit
over biased with
who was right? Who was right? Who was right?
Last year.
Oh, so he's better.
Yeah, but he's got. I would think that after what happened last year, when he was hurt for the first time in his entire season, where he was missing all that time.
All right. All right, you got no point, but I appreciate you. We'll see you later.
I appreciate.
Finish him.
We can only let it go so long before it's got to be just, I tried to give him the stage as long as he could take it. But, he's McCaffrey. He's McCaffrey. He's got to be good. He's McCaffrey, Smitty. He's McCaffrey. You're live. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Matt from DC area.
What's up, Matt? What can I do for you? Actually, hold on. Let me merge Bruce in real quick. Bruce, hold on 1 second, bro. All right, go ahead, Matthew. You're live.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, that was an interesting conversation there with CMC.
I get it a lot. I get it a lot, bro.
I don't understand it, man. Like, you're calling in to talk, and all you want to be is right. I don't get it. Like,
yeah.
Anyway, I just don't get why you call. What's the point of calling in at that point?
I don't know. Because he wants CMC to be healthy, and I get that. I understand where he's coming from. That's why I try to.
We all do.
Yeah, but it's like for him to be like that was last year, like he's a year older and he's got chronic bilateral, and I don't believe the doctors, and the world is flat, and we're gonna do it live.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. I'm calling about the Judkins topic. Actually.
All right, good. All right, hit me with it.
Yeah, so I haven't been watching the show the entire feed since you started the feed, but I don't know how deep you've dove into it yet. Just the police report that came out, I guess, an hour and a half ago or whatever, the actual written report. Have you covered that already?
Yeah, we talked about the fact that he struck her reportedly in the mouth and lip area. There's bruising, and hit her in the thigh and arm, and it was in the Lamborghini, and it was reported, days after it happened, but we can't assume that means that it's fake or fabricated just because she waited.
No,
that's not. Yeah,
no, and I'll provide some context and background on myself. I used to be a police officer. I used to go to a lot of these kinds of calls. So is it cool if I talk about this sort of thing?
Go ahead.
So this it's man, these kinds of crimes, and obviously this is all, alleged at this point.
Yeah.
With him, but these kinds of crimes, and it's not uncommon for it to be delayed like this.
Right.
Like, this is very, very common. And so these people, it's so discouraging, man, when you see, and I try not to scroll through comments too often, but it's really discouraging when you see these comments like, something's fishy. That's just, because she waited 4 days to report. Nah, that's normal, guys. that is not out of the ordinary in any way, shape, or form. And a lot of times when you go to these things, it's taught to PD that this is not the first time this has happened. It's probably happened 2 to 3 times before you even get the first call to go to domestic violence. So just trying to provide some context for folks before they go out there and post things like that. It's just don't.
Yeah, and you guys got guys like Scott going Judkins to the moon, like just extremely disrespectful. Yeah. If you want to maybe say, okay, until proven guilty, like fine, but like you're literally celebrating, absolutely. A player being accused of something a little different. But I do believe innocent till proven guilty is a very important part of society in general. But keep absolutely. In mind that we do all agree innocent till proven guilty in terms of his rights as a human being, in terms of jail and all that, of course. But when it comes to this absolutely. Organization, they can make knee-jerk reactions, and you're playing for the NFL, and they have every right to decide to hold back here or do this. They can put them on the exempt list paid. Putting them on the exempt list paid would be a sign of saying, hey, we're not against you. We're going to wait for this to play out. However, you need to go take care of this and we'll pay you. And then the moment that, let's say he was convicted or something, then obviously they're not going to put him on the exempt list paid. But that is one way the NFL could attack this. But the NFL does not look at domestic violence the same way they look at even Rashee Rice's situation or even Alvin Kamara's situation. Those are thought to be, for correct. Right or wrong, those are thought to be very different cases by many accounts. And in domestic violence and gambling, the NFL looks at, for right or wrong, they look at it completely different. And so people need to understand that there's not this blanket way to tackle this. And everybody out there is just running their mouth about how they'll wait for the legal process to play out. They very well could, especially if the optics look very easy for the NFL to do that. But the optics just got worse this morning. The optics got
worse this morning.
Yes.
Yeah. It got worse this morning. And on top of that, the fact that she took pictures of her injuries, that's also that those are going to come out eventually, more than likely, in my opinion. There's no way those are going to, if it goes to trial, and if it goes not just criminal trial but civil trial, those images are coming out, and that's going to multiply the likelihood that this dude is not playing.
But here's the part that's crazy, though, is that he has not signed his rookie contract. And so if the Browns are going to do Browns type things and allow him to sign it, though, if they don't like rescind, if there's something out there that needs to be rescinded, the Browns are absolutely moronic. So this not having a contract signed puts him closer to the Isaiah Bond not being drafted by any team because of his domestic violence situation. It puts him closer to that than it puts him closer on the field. I mean, just put it that way. This contract not being signed means he's more Isaiah Bond situationally than he is playing week 1.
I agree with you 100% on that. As someone, who was scouting, all of these guys, and really, it's amateur scouting, but it's still, you're scouting them, and it's like Bond had all sorts of potential, and for him to, allegedly, once again, do what he did, allegedly, and then not go undrafted, whereas, potentially, high second round player, something around those lines, and even talks of first, it's just, these players aren't safe. Everyone thinks they're safe because of, they try to 1-for-1, like you were saying, oh, this situation versus that. Nah, each one is unique based off of the circumstances of the facts that the NFL gets. And
compounding
the facts that are coming out of this.
Facts that compound and make the situation worse, or maybe unravel it in the side of him being in trouble, or compounding the fact that all of that with the fact that his contract wasn't signed and he's unsigned, that the team has no obligation. Like this is going to be wild.
They have zero obligation to him except for the draft capital they've sunk into him already. But that's a sunk cost fallacy kind of deal. Like you can't, like it's done at this point.
And if you're like deciding we can only keep one of Gabriel or Shedeur, now they can just say, you know what, the way we justify this is we doubled up on RB, we got Dylan, and Ford's looking good. Let's just go ahead and walk away from this situation. Keep Gabriel. Like they could do it 100 different ways to make it logical in terms of losing the capital. They already wasted a pick on Gabriel, like the stupid move by the Browns, which they opened cleaning this up. But it'll be interesting. It's if he ends up being available. I don't think a team will touch him, though. Just like Bond wasn't drafted, I don't think a team will touch Judkins. This could be one of those sad cases where a player ruins his entire career.
If those, depending on how quickly those images come out, it may, we'll see. I mean, I think the fact that they drafted Samson in the 4th lessens the blow if they did have to cut him. I mean, Samson's no chump. He probably should have gone higher than he did, in my opinion. But I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't think he was a 4th round running back personally, but that's where he ended up. But to double dip like that, that's not. It's like Ford's not Ford's a decent running back, obviously, and so to double dip like that, I'm wondering if they already looked into some character concerns potentially when they drafted Judkins.
Well, there were
that's pure speculation.
There were some reports. I'm not saying they were true or not. That there's some locker room issues with him, and then there were reports that those were not true. So it's hard to really know what's what in today's fake news world where all these Instagram and Twitter pages that are just faceless and they're just kids in their mom's basement as they're playing their Game Boy and eating meatloaf and literally putting this news out there. Yeah. But here's one of the reports on the cause statement, the probable cause statement. It says the victim stated that at the baggage claim, the defendant stated, "Oh wow, I can't believe you. I'm so done with you." The victim stated that she had no clue as to why the defendant said this. The victim then entered the Lamborghini SUV rental vehicle. So it was a rental for those saying, how does he have a Lamborghini already? He's renting it. Allegedly waiting for them at the airport. The victim advised they exited the airport in the vehicle. The victim stated that the defendant was showing frustration after he read text messages from family members. The victim stated that he was trying to explain to the defendant that the messages were not true. The victim stated that she suffers from anxiety and began to stutter while explaining herself. The victim stated that the defendant then punched her in the mouth chin area with a closed fist. The victim still had visible bruising on chin area, and the victim showed me a photograph that she took the following day of the chin area. So still bruising on it, and there's photos. The bruising was clearly evident. The victim stated that the defendant pulled over. Now, the problem with the photo for Judkins is that the bruise was not created later. She's showing a photo, of earlier to prove that that the bruise was from that. The victim stated that the defendant. What?
Oh no, I'm just saying, someone who's gone to these kinds of calls, written these kinds of police reports before, like that's all that stuff. Like I said, this is all still innocent until proven guilty. But they felt like at that time they had probable cause for that arrest 5 days later. Because they looked at a picture that she took right after the incident occurred. Okay, and then she still got that bruising there. That ain't good. I can tell you right now, that ain't good.
Here's another piece. The victim stated that the defendant turned around while he was driving and struck her additional times in the left arm and thigh. The victim had visible bruising on her left arm and thigh. The victim also displayed photographs that were taken just after the incident for similar bruising. The victim stated that while the defendant was striking her in the instant, she began to kick her feet in the direction of the defendant herself. So we'll see. we'll see how it all plays out, but it's certainly not good. Like I said earlier, it's it's something that, while there's still a lot to be unveiled, and while we still, there's still two sides to every story, and what she's claiming and all this doesn't necessarily guarantee that he did these things. I'm not trying to insinuate that. It's going in the wrong It's going in the wrong direction. And if anything's been made evident already, is that Isaiah Bond, who we don't know is innocent or guilty, doesn't have a team and was not drafted because of the allegations. So it's safe to say, without his rookie contract signed, there might be the same fate for him, regardless of the right or wrong of it. That's what I'm trying to be here to tell you, everybody.
The NFL could easily say you're too much trouble than you're worth, and right now you're not worth anything because you don't have that contract.
Yeah.
You haven't touched the field for us. He's not an established player. These instances, like he's not part really of the brand yet. And I know that it shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter, but it seems to matter because you look at, and they're not one-for-one situations, but you look at the Rasheed Rice incident, and you look at the Tyreek Hill incident to go back further, and these are established players at that point. They are part of the brand more so, and they've got the contracts, and so it's not as cut and dry for them. And that's where let the investigation and the situation play out comes from, versus this, where they didn't wait for Bond. They were like, we're not touching you with a 10-foot pole. The whole NFL decided that.
Yeah.
Not even a unrestricted free agent signing.
All right, my man.
Like yeah. I appreciate it, sir.
All right, man.
Wait, real quick, if you can. Where would you take Samson in a rookie draft at this point? I'm in the middle of one.
Easily second.
I'm right
anywhere round 2.
Really?
It depends on who's
I'm
available.
at 206.
Sure.
I'm at 206, and Burden is still there, but I need running back.
Now, Burden's not
sitting there.
You draft because he's not even on a team. So, yeah, take Samson all day.
Luther Burden?
Yep. Oh, Luther. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking Bond for whatever.
No.
Luther Burden.
No.
Yeah, sorry. We were talking about Bond, and it messed with my. I would say
no. You're all good.
I would say probably Luther Burden over Dylan Samson, but Dylan Samson right there, second round for sure.
Yeah, man. He's I agree with you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
All right, Bruce, hang tight real quickly. Zach, you keep saying this. Zach, you keep saying, someone help me with my fantasy offer. Like, I get what you're saying, bro. Everybody wants me to help them with their draft, but like, you're literally saying, if you win your league, I go help you draft. If you win your league, you'll send me a $100 super chat. Why don't you do a $20 super chat in advance? Don't pay me $100. $20 super chat, and let's go over details or talk about your draft for 5 minutes or something like that. Or during your draft, drop super chats with every question. Drop $5 super chats every time you're on the clock, or you want to, like, I'll help you, Zach, but I'm not in the business of trying to stop what I'm doing and stop the machine that I'm keeping going here to on the upside of you winning your league and making all of your ad drop decisions and lineup decisions so that I can make $100 later. Like, I appreciate you, but like, there are other ways to do this than to just be in the chat and say, well, anyone help me for $100? Like, no one's, it's not the way the world works, Zach. But I'm here to help you. Just drop $5 and $10 questions when you're on the clock, or do a $20 5 to 6 minute session here. We'll smash it out. Anyway, Bruce, you're live. Go.
Well, first, I just want to thank that guy for his service and all. My question is, what is your line in the sand for Judkins, or you're just avoiding him altogether?
It's a great question, my boy. Like, would I take him at the end of a draft right now, an underdog? Probably, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not. I think I'd have to be on the clock. I think this is all the new stuff coming out that made me go live on this. I haven't really digested into action, with the draft and everything. So I'll tell you this: I would not grab him in high percentage of leagues because I don't want to be caught, having a 0-point producer. But I would say, I would definitely take a couple of shares in best ball. Would I draft him at the end of non-best ball? Certainly, because you can make ad drops. I'd say he's even better of a grab in non-best ball because he could be your player that you're dropping and picking up guys off the waivers. You're going to have a spot where you're flexible with it. So certainly, I think a solid player to grab at the end of a draft. But would I take him anywhere near his old ADP? No. Not even close. And I think that's the problem is I don't think I think somebody's going to grab him well before I'm willing to. I don't think I'm ever going to see him sitting there at the end of the draft. Not now, maybe in a little while when more news breaks. But right now, people are still looking at this like this is such a big value. It's a big risk. This guy he may play. Everything might be fine. The accusations could be exaggerated or false, or they could be completely 100% true. More bad could come out, and this guy may never play again. It could go 100 different directions. No one knows the outcome. But because the outcome of him never playing in the NFL is possible, it's a real possibility, that makes him a very risky player.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to know, what his line in the sand was, in your opinion.
Yeah. All right, later, bro.
Yep, later.
And there are going to be a lot of people that have agendas. They have him in 5 leagues. They need to talk him up. I get it. I understand it. I understand what time it is. All right, one more phone call.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in, and we will attack this. Rock out, dialing in. What's up, my boy? Rock out, you're live. Hello.
Yeah, it's a pretty sticky situation, but as far as them taking 2 running backs and 2 quarterbacks, I think they were just doing a little too much with that, especially with the quarterback, and when they could have just took Sanders.
Yeah. I hate the way everyone's going to say the Browns were smart by doubling up on QB. They were smart by doubling up on RB, but the truth is the Browns, they're just so indecisive. They didn't know what they wanted to do at all. They were wasting picks in some regards. So, people can say what they want about the Browns having an impressive draft based on that type of doubling up, but they wasted a lot of picks, instead of picking the right players, instead of picking just Shador, they could have taken another player. Now they're down. Now they might be down 2 spots. If they cut Gabriel and they should, and then they don't sign Judkins or something, then all of a sudden they've lost 2 draft picks. So it's kind of wild how they operate. The Browns are the Browns, man, for a reason. And I feel so bad for the fan base because the fan base deserves better.
Yeah, I feel bad for them too. But I know you're not big on Henry, but would you take a flyer on him maybe in 1 or 2 leagues?
Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'd take a flyer on him in best ball a lot. Not a lot, but 10% ownership, 5%. That's still a decent amount. But I'm not going to own him in 20% of best ball leagues. But I probably won't draft him at all in non-best ball. Not because I think he can't do it, but because the players around him are just safer and have the same upside. That's kind of my stance on Henry. But in best ball, I do have a handful of shares. It's probably 7%. And I think that's probably the safe play and the safe way to approach it. I'm not going to take more than that of Derrick Henry, but I definitely want shares of him.
Yeah, let's say if Henry fell 204 or 205 and someone took London and Bucky for
in non-best ball, no. In non-best ball, no, because you got HN, you got Bucky. I'd even probably take Rashee Rice probably, but in best ball, I'll take him, sure. And I especially will take him in best ball weeklies where as long as you have everybody score the most points out of everybody in 1 week, you get 20K. So he could miss half a season and he still could win $20K off of Derrick Henry in a weekly contest. And in gauntlet draft. In the weeklies, I don't mean like you're doing a week 1 draft. I mean, it's called weeklies, where you draft a team in the offseason. I know Rockout knows what it is, but for anybody else that doesn't, you draft a team in the offseason and it locks in, and then every week is a new tournament. And all you got to do is win one individual week. No week has one correlation to the other, but your pre-season team that you drafted goes through every week as if it's one separate contest. So week 17 you could win $20K and your whole team could be suspended for weeks 1 through 16, and they come back and play week 17. If you score the most amount of points, you get $20K. So like that's where Henry would be a great draft pick. But I wouldn't take him in non-best ball. I'm not taking CMC in non-best ball. I'm not taking Derrick Henry in non-best ball, and I'm probably not taking Barkley in non-best ball. I'll take Barkley in best ball all day, but I still don't take him often, but I'll take him. I will not take Barkley, Henry, or CMC in non-best ball.
What's the relation? You've been taking Barkley if you do take him.
I don't. In best ball, I'll take him. In best ball, I will. I'll take him probably. It's rare, though. It's rare. I mean, maybe like just in a situation where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take him here, force it, put it at 4 or 5, and just grab him. Just so I have a share or two of them. In best ball, it's fine, because if you have somebody who can step up, even if you had like Shipley, or you had Charbonnet, and you had Jaden Blue, and Jaden Blue goes on a tear during the 3 or 4 games Barkley misses, then it's fine. But yeah, I mean, you take him as ADP, but I'm not taking him in non-best ball.
Understood.
All right, later, my boy. Rock out to the moon. Anyway, I will see you all later. We're live at 8 p.m. Eastern. But if new news breaks, we'll be live again, because that's how we roll. Make sure you get on over to my Patreon. I'm going to type a message on it right now. What is the Patreon? It's a 24/7 live chat group. You want 365, 24/7 live advice, $10 a month, cancel anytime. I'm going to type it right here inside the Patreon. Anyone, what's up? What is up, everyone? Any post show topics, Judkins or Jennings included? I'm going to put that on my Patreon. I'm on there right now, ready to live chat with you all. So make sure you get on over there. I'm live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. I'm also additionally live whenever big news breaks. We've already done 2 breaking news live streams. You're watching one of them right now today. So when news breaks, we go live. 2 streams already today. We've already streamed for 4 hours today, and these are all breaking news streams. I'll be live at 8 p.m. Eastern like I am every single Monday through Friday, and I'm additionally live at midnight Eastern. See you all at 8 p.m. at the bare minimum. Deuce.
Well, no going back now. You sure you want to do this, Kyle? Yeah, we have to. Let's go. Start the procedure.
Hey, Nowitzki, are you still here? Nowitzki, I'll answer this right now. Nowitzki, you there? Nowitzki, hello.
Yeah, John, look at that. Yeah, that looks great, Kyle. Look at him.
Currentonites unite!
We did have one super chat here from Nowitzki. Are you still here, pal? I'm sorry about the delay on this. Smitty, I got Genty, CMC, Rasheed first. 3 picks is Rice. My wide receiver 1 strong. Yeah. I mean, I don't like CMC. I wouldn't have taken that, but I would have taken Bucky or Achane without a hesitation. But getting Rasheed Rice as your 3rd pick and your first wide receiver is fantastic, bro. Go grab Mahomes later, though. Nowitzki, you still here, bro? Hopefully he's still here. Appreciate you all. Thank you for my super chats. You guys rock. Thank you, Red. Or what was it? Redirected earlier with the question on Javonte. And then this one right here from the Whiskey. Appreciate you guys. See you all tonight, 8 p.m. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Additionally live whenever big news breaks. Additionally live midnight Eastern almost every single night. See you all tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern at the minimum if there's not new news. Deuce.